see if this worked. I think I sent an invitation. Let me see if I can. Let me do it again. Okay.
Okay. Did it work?
Yes.
Yay!
So for all of you joining me today, my guest is, I've been saying your name wrong, so you need to tell me how to say your name.
It's pronounced Lonnie.
Lonnie. Okay, so I'm here with Lonnie Forbes, the author of The Seventh Son, and she is my second guest here on my Instagram live interview, which is called P's, Q's, but I always forget to kind of plug that. But Lonnie, will you tell us a little bit about your book?
Yeah, so The Seventh Son, sorry, my son just handed me a pack of graham crackers. I'm trying to open
Oh,
it.
nice.
Okay, there you go, buddy. All right, so The Seventh Son, yeah, I've got my little 4-year-old here with me, so I apologize if he...
Real life, it's all good.
So The Seventh Son is, it's a fantasy that's inspired by ancient Mesoamerican culture and traditions and mythology. And so it's a fantasy. Basically, I like to joke it's a retelling of kind of Hunger Games meets The Bachelor. So
yeah. Yeah, and I found that to be very, very true. It's a very immersive fantasy. Your world building is very good. I mean, I could see everything visually, and it was very clearly stated and made sense. So I appreciate that. So let's start off. I sent Lonnie some questions. So you did a lot of research to prepare yourself to write this book. What is maybe the strangest or most fascinating thing you discovered while writing The Seventh Son?
yeah, so I tried to put as much research into this as I possibly could, and I think I joke a lot that my mom's a research librarian, so like I have been trained to like, make sure that I use good sources, and so like I read textbooks, like university textbooks on history. There's a really great organization based out of London that's owned by a family from Mexico, and they do a lot of research and interview professors and have a lot of really great information available there. And probably one of my favorite things that I researched though was it's not really weird as much as just I thought it was a really sweet and cute idea, so I actually kind of incorporated it in the story a bit. Was they have and I forget I can't remember exactly what the article said, but basically it was this idea that like sometimes young boys would get these little bits of fabric and they would fill them with like wool, or they'd fill them with grass, and they'd basically make little pillows kind of, and they would throw them at the girls that they liked. And I thought that was adorable because I'm a teacher for one, so I teach middle school, and I just was like, oh my gosh, that is such like a universal thing of these boys liking girls and throwing these little pillows of grass at them. And sometimes the girls would carry like little stingrays, little cactus spines or something to like chase after the boys to like poke them back. And
good for them.
I know. I'm like, yeah, you go, girls. I just thought that was such a cute idea that just these little kids would make these little like pillows of usually grass or something. And it's cool because they actually had like on the article I was reading, they actually had like an image from one of the codexes to show like an actual like painting of what kind of like these little boys like holding these little things. And I thought that was so sweet. So I actually incorporated that into the story a little bit. Towards the beginning, you'll notice Mayana kind of makes a little pillow for her little brother. She's worried, and she tells him like, here, go throw this at the girl you think is cutest. And I just thought that was kind of a sweet
I remember that. Okay, now that you mention it, I didn't even that's pretty interesting. I like that.
So that's,
and I'm glad that the girls defend themselves too.
Yes.
Okay, so what scene did you have the most fun with?
Oh my gosh, so to not give anything away, so Mayana really struggles with the idea of animal sacrifices throughout the whole book. And so towards the very end, that kind of comes to a head a little bit, where she has to kind of make a decision if she's willing to do something or not. And that scene was the most fun for me to write. Because it's such an emotionally intense scene, and I love emotional intensity, and I love when a story comes to that point where you're like, oh my gosh, what's the character going to do? What are they going to decide? So
and it is a pretty intense scene, so I can definitely see that. I really liked that Mayana was so, what's the word? Like, she really held on to like her values, and she really like her questioning things that everybody thinks is just normal, everyday life, and she's, trying to figure out why, what is the purpose of all of the things that we're doing here, and
Yeah.
she's a very relatable character. Okay, so what do you think? Okay, so this is a historical fantasy, so it takes place in the past, very long ago. And I'm gonna mess up his name. So, Akin.
Yes.
Akin. Okay, so what do you think would surprise Mayana and Akin the most about the modern world?
Oh my gosh. So I was kind of thinking about what to answer for this question when I read it. And just for some reason, this image popped into my head of Akin trying to use an iPhone. And I was giggling so much because I picture him as very kind of like, he likes to do research and he kind of likes to know what's going on. And like, I imagine him like being the kind of person that's like, let me go research that. And so I just see him as being the kind of person that would like, well, let me pull out my iPhone and see if I can find an answer for that really quick.
Yeah.
So I could just see him like trying to look something up and Mayana's just sitting there going, oh my gosh, like why?
Or like he reads manuals to figure out how things work.
Yes. I can see him like sitting there like, no, I have to make sure I read all of these things because I have to figure it out. And,
Yeah, I can definitely see that. Okay, so you're a writer, and so what would you describe your writing process as? Like planner, plotter, plotter, pantser? What do you think you are?
I think I'm a little bit of both, because I love a story that has good structure, and I think stories have to have good structure.
Mm-hmm.
But how you get there might be a little bit different for me, because I always thought of myself as a plotter, but I noticed when I sit down and I try to plot and map out everything, it never really goes according to how I planned, and I end up pantsing it anyway.
Yeah,
And
I
so-
really.
And what's fun is, so for book 2, I have actually already finished book 2. And so I had and there's kind of 2 storylines going on in book 2. Again, not to give anything away, but there's like 2 kind of stories going on at the same time. It's like some characters are in one place and some characters are in another place. And so one story I completely mapped out and plotted out really well. And the other story, I kind of didn't know where I wanted to go with it. So I just kind of let it flow.
Yeah.
And I noticed the story that I just kind of let flow seemed to work so much better. It just seemed to have that emotional tension. It just seemed to, and when I had beta readers kind of read it, everyone loved that storyline the most. And I was kind of like, okay, well, that's what I get for trying to plot. I guess like the combination plot worked out the best. So I think I've kind of come to acceptance that I think I am more of a pantser than a plotter.
Yeah.
But I like to go back after the fact and make sure that whatever I pantsed has good structure and plot to it at the end. So I do both, but I think I pants first just to get kind of that emotional drive to the story.
Yeah. No, I think that's the same for me. Sometimes I'll have like a rough plot line or outline, and then it kind of just, my characters decide to do their own thing, and you never know what's gonna happen. So it's exciting. Okay, last question. What are you working on now?
So right now I'm trying to finish book 3, which is proving to be kind of a bit of a challenge. I'm about halfway finished with it right now, and I've got it mostly plotted out. Like I know where I'm going with it, but I'm finding that because it's the last book in the series, it's hard to kind of bring together all these things that you've been putting in place. And so I'm such a perfectionist that I want to make sure that they all come together in a way that makes sense and is perfect. And so I feel like this one's definitely taking me a little bit longer than the first 2 books did. But I'm excited with what I have so far. Like I'm really happy with what I have so far, but I'm definitely going slower because I'm being super nitpicky about it.
Yeah. Sorry, my husband started calling me, and now like the sound is off, and it's really driving me nuts. Hopefully people can hear you.
Yes.
I apologize. It's my husband's fault.
Okay.
All right, so I'm going to ask you a quick like round robin questions, and you got to answer as fast as you can, okay?
Okay.
Salty or sweet?
Salty.
Coffee, tea, or none of the above?
None of the above. And it's weird because people are always like, oh, you don't like coffee or tea? I just don't like the taste. Like there's no reason as to why. I don't like the taste of coffee, and I'm trying to train myself to like tea.
Okay.
I'm practicing.
Okay. Chris Pine or Chris Hemsworth?
I love Chris Pine in Star Wars, but I'm going to go Chris Hemsworth because he's Thor, and I'm sorry, but I loved Thor Ragnarok. It was like my favorite of all of the Marvel movies, so I'm going to go Hemsworth.
Okay, good. All right. I didn't have Evans on there because he's mine. What are you reading right now?
Right now, not anything right now because I'm trying to work. I'm like anxiously plugging away on book 3, but I have this like huge list of stuff that I want to read as soon as I'm finished with book 3.
Yes.
I'm really excited to start Sarah J. Maas's new book, what's it called? I'm blanking on the name, but her new book that just came out. I just got that in the mail.
Oh, yeah. Okay. And it's a thick one, right? It's like big.
It's
okay. Okay.
And then
Tom or Jerry?
Tom.
Okay, I respect that. If you were deserted on an island and could only bring one fictional character with you, who would it be?
That's a good one. I don't know. I think I would probably bring Katniss just because she has experience surviving on an island.
That is a very good one. Oh my gosh. Okay, I like that. All right, that was my round robin, whatever you want to call it. Thank you for joining me today, Lonnie. Yeah. I appreciate you agreeing to do this interview. For anyone who joined us or is joining us, Lonnie, this is Lonnie's book, The Seventh Son, her debut. It just came out last month, and you should definitely get your copy. And I am excited to read the sequel, so
yes,
anxiously waiting. All right, I hope you have a great day.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Bye.
Bye.